Hello, this is Tic Tac. In this video, I will teach you the basics of Autopilot in the Boeing 747 in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I will cover the Autothrottle, the heading selection, the altitude selection, the vertical speed, as well as the flight level change. So, let's get started. As you can see, I am flying my aircraft manually at the moment. What you need to do is to let go of your yoke, or if you're using the mouse yoke, then make sure that you put it to the release position, or else the autopilot will get interfered with and it won't work. So what we'll do first is we're going to press one of these buttons over here to engage the autopilot. So I'm going to use the left autopilot and just press the hold button underneath the altitude and the heading. So what this will do is it will keep our present altitude and our heading. So we were flying at a heading of 108 and it will just continue flying at that heading, as well as it will stabilize at an altitude of 10,500 feet, because that's where we were before. What you need to remember when using the autopilot is to always check what is written on this display, because this tells you what the autopilot is doing, and you can make sure if you've configured everything correctly on here, because this isn't always as clear, but here it just confirms what the plane is doing. So as you can see, we're holding altitude and holding heading. Now we will move on to the autothrottle. The autothrottle is here. Just make sure you flick the switch into the on position, so the switch should be up, and make sure the speed button is lit. If it is, then click it. And now you can set a speed, so I'm just going to set a speed of 210 knots. And as you can see on here, speed has lit up, and there's 210 in purple above the speed indicator, and there's a pink marker symbol at 210, and our plane will slow down to 210 knots and just keep flying at that speed. So another option for the auto throttle is this select button. If you click it, then it will switch over to Mach units, which is basically a speed relative to the speed of sound, and then you can change this. So let's go 0.45. And as you can see, it's 0.45 at the top, and the marker symbol has moved up to the equivalent of that in knots, and our plane has accelerated. So I'll just return to knots, and let's go back to 210. So the next thing I'll show you is the heading selection. We have the hold button below, so if you want to just hold the present heading like we're doing now, it will be lit. And if you want to change your heading, then to do this, you would rotate the smaller inside knob. As you can see, there's two knobs. So if we rotate this knob, and let's set a heading of 210, and as you can see, there's a pink line on this display which points to 210. That's the way the plane will turn. Now to activate this, just press the select button inside the knob, and it now says heading select on the display. Our plane has started turning. Now I'll talk to you about the outside knob. So this bigger knob is the bank angle. At the moment it's set to automatic, but you can change it to 5 degrees, and what this will do is, as you can see, the plane is not going to bank as much, and it will make a slower and more gradual turn. And you can also set it to 10 degrees, to 15 degrees, to 20 degrees, and 25 degrees. And if it's at 25, then it will make the steepest turn. So I'll just return it back to automatic. So that's the heading selection. Now I'll talk about the altitude. This video is sponsored by Incredible Maths. Incredible Maths is a great app in which you can learn and practice maths. It has a wide range of content for different levels of abilities. You can download it on Google Play and get 30 days of Incredible Maths Premium free with the code. More details down in the description. Now let's get back to the video. So for the altitude, there's the altitude setting here, and then you have two methods of changing altitude, either the vertical speed or the flight level change. We'll talk about the vertical speed first. So let's say we want to increase our altitude to an altitude of 15,000 feet. So we'll set it on here, and then we can press the VS button and set a vertical speed that we will want to ascend by. As you can see on the display, VS has been lit up and 15,000 is written above our altitude indicator, and there will be the marker symbol up there, as well as there's a pink line at the number 2 on our vertical speed indicator, and our plane will ascend to that altitude. If you're descending, you will need to set a negative vertical speed on here for the descent. If you would like to cancel your descent or ascent, then you can always press the hold button, and this will just level off the plane at whatever altitude you are. As you can see, it will just level off somewhere around 12,600 feet, and now we are flying level again. The next option that I will show is the flight level change. What this does is that when you're changing altitude, you might want to keep a constant speed of the plane. However, you don't mind about the vertical speed and just want to go at any rate. So this will ascend or descend you at any vertical speed as long as it is able to keep the airspeed that you have set on here. So we will descend now. So let's say we want to descend to back to 10,000 feet again. So we'll set that, and then we can press the flight level change option, and let's set an airspeed of 214 knots. As you can see, we are descending now fairly quickly in order to gain speed to reach 240 because we're slightly under. And now that we have reached 240, the autopilot is putting our nose up a bit in order to not go over that speed, and it will descend us to that altitude. As you can see, it says FLCH, flight level change speed, on the display, which means we've set it correctly. And now it will just continue our descent until we have reached 10,000 feet. And we will soon get there. And when we'll get to 10,000 feet, we will just level off and just continue flying level. Okay, so now I'll show you flight level change with the altitude when you want to ascend. So if you want to ascend, just increase the altitude. I'll set it to 14,000 feet and press the flight level change button. And if you're under speed, then it will just level off the plane a bit until it gains that speed, as you can see it's doing now, and we're not ascending. And then when it reaches the speed that we have set on speed over here, then it will start ascending now again. If you want to disable the autopilot because you want to go manual, or if something is going wrong and you need to rescue the plane, there's a big button over here saying disengage. So if you want to disengage it, just press the button and disengage the autopilot, and you can disarm the Autothrottle, and now you are back to flying it manually. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please press the like button, subscribe for more videos, and if you have any ideas for what videos you would like me to make in the future, then please put them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.